Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xcentora here and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you are doing well because I am as always, and today we're going to look at some of the best routes you can do in Australia. So I think let's head into a Australian aircraft, shall we? Is there a Virgin Australia on the A320? There's Virgin America but not Australia. Is there a Qantas or something we can use? Just so it feels like, there we go, a Qantas link, there we go, and we'll use this airport, and we're going to start off at Brisbane actually. Been to this airport before actually, and it's a lot bigger than you'd think. I always thought Brisbane would be a small airport, but no, it turns out it's quite big. But yeah, so let's look at some of the best routes you can do in Australia, and I think Australia is really an underflown location on Infinite Flight. Like, whenever I think of doing a flight, I never think, let's go Australia. You just don't. So let's have a look. So obviously our first place is Brisbane, and we're going to go to, of course, Sydney. Now this is a great flight, 400 nautical miles. It will take you just over an hour, maybe two at a push, depending on what route you go. But it's a really nice little flight, and when I've flown this before, you'll see here you can go along the coast. So you've got Coffs Harbour there, really lovely place, and the scenery just along these areas is really good. So if you go along the coast, I think it will like just add, how far does that add? It doesn't really add that many miles actually, maybe an extra 50 mile at a push. It's a really nice little route anyway, and it's definitely one I suggest. But if you ever want to fly a long haul, by the way, to Brisbane, just have a look at this. It's actually a pretty nice looking airport, you know. I really don't actually know if it needs the additional runway. I presume there's lots of room for future development, but yeah, I don't even know if it needs the additional runway, but it's an incredible airport. It's definitely one you should fly to on Infinite Flight. But like I said, I never fly here because I never think of it. So the next place we're going to go to is, if I can find it, is Cairns. Now this is an incredible place. So it's got an international and a domestic terminal, and Cairns is well known in Australia because it's where the rainforests are, and I want to say the Great Barrier Reef. I feel like they're both there. I might be wrong, but the scenery when you're flying here is really cool. So let's go on to short final actually. And I'm going to try and not control the aircraft and just see if I can get it airborne. There we go. Right, let's maintain airborne. And we'll go to 100 odd knots. There we go. But, there you go. Almost immediately you got the mountains next to the airport. Incredible. But it's a really, really cool airport. And I think there's definitely some good reasons to fly here. Like I said, it's a small airport where I don't even know where the terminal's gone. Where is it? There we go. I missed it, but yeah, it's a pretty big terminal. But yeah, you can already see from the height we've gained, the rainforest and that, they already look pretty cool. And you got obviously the little, I want to say it's a city over there. But yeah, it's a really big tourist destination. So you can fly like Jetstar Airlines and that out here, and it's really cool. And obviously you can see there, just in the distance above the aircraft, you can see sort of where the scenery goes nice. But this is an incredible place to fly, and I would recommend it to anyone. So some popular routes you can do out of here involve obviously Sydney, Melbourne, but you can also fly from up north. So you got the Philippines, definitely Hong Kong and that, and you can fly into their international terminal. So it's very, very good. So it appears that we're sort of going around Australia. But we're not going to spawn here, but this is Darwin, cool place. But yeah, if you guys want to fly there, you can. Definitely shorter if you want to fly to Australia from obviously East Asia. So let's go around to one of the biggest airports. I'd say this is one of the most used airports purely because of the Qantas 787, where you can fly from here to Europe, notably London or Paris. I think that's a very popular route here, and a lot of people will do that route. I've done that route a few times actually, as of late. I think I've done it 3 times over the summer now. It's just a really cool route, and you can always have it in the background because of the Autopilot Plus. But I think Perth Airport in itself is a really cool airport again. Now, an interesting thing is that a lot of international airports in Australia, you can see here, they're mainly built for big long haul aircraft, and then they have a little domestic bit. And a lot of from what I think it's more of they have an international terminal and then a domestic, whereas in like England at Heathrow you got 5 different terminals and stuff like that. So you can it's very easy to fly mainly an A330 or a Boeing 777 to almost any international airport in Australia, purely because it's how they're connected to the world through these long haul routes from East Asia or even like Dubai and that sort of region. But yeah, Perth is an incredible airport to fly to. So let's go to Adelaide now. We're not going to spawn, but this is again a very good little airport to fly to. Got a little general aviation bit, and then obviously the main terminal there. Good airport, but we're not going to spawn there. But the next place we're going to go across to is, if I can find it, there we go, Melbourne. Now this is a very good airport as well. It's incredible. Like I said, just contradict myself because there is a lot of terminals here. But this is a great place. I tend to fly Cathay Pacific 777s here, and I think that's a really good route because I think Hong Kong, by far one of my favourite places to fly on Infinite Flight, and it's just a cool place. But yeah, here you go. So Melbourne Airport, definitely a good place to fly to, and the best bit is that all of these little airports that I'm showing you, you can fly between them all, and that's definitely recommended. But you can see you got the little terminal there, and obviously the runway. I remember the taxi to the runway, it's non-existent basically. It's right there at the end of the runway, which is really good. Obviously when you land you got a bit more back taxiing, but if you're taking off and you're using the active runway down there, I don't know what number that is, runway 34 by the looks of it, yep, runway 34, then you're definitely in for a good flight because it takes you about 2 minutes. So if you're in a rush trying to get off the ground, literally use whatever terminal 4 it is and your taxi is seconds. You can even go from a maintenance hangar if you insist. So obviously you got I think it's Tasmania it's called, but you obviously got the few airports down here. Obviously you got Hobart. Now just remember, New Zealand does exist, people. You can fly there, but I think New Zealand deserves a separate video because there's a lot of cool stuff there. Now the next place we're going to go is Canberra. Good airport, but you can't really fly international. If I can find it, it's sort of here, it's sort of domestic flights mainly from the stands, which then fly to Sydney, and then from Sydney you can fly out. But you know what, we'll spawn at Sydney because Sydney is easy. So you got the international bit all here, like I said, and then here is your domestic terminal here. So it appears for the domestic lot, it looks like it's terminal, do have different terminal numbers, but they're pretty easily separated and well separated here in Australia. But yeah, so again, international flights really easy. A lot of people actually do, when they do fly here, they always come from Dubai and that, but not many people like to do domestic routes here, and I really think they should. I think it should be encouraged. So if you're looking to do a domestic flight only a few hours, it's good, because in Australia you can have a 5-hour flight across Australia or just a little 40-minute one from like here to Canberra. So your options are pretty much unlimited. But this airport is incredible. Look at the pure size. That's just the international terminal, it's massive, and then the domestic one equally as massive. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you all in my next video. Good night.